Well, we do want to welcome everybody in today that is joining us, and thanks for our great audience here today. Give yourselves a big round of applause for coming out on a Saturday. My name is Rob Kendall with WYRZ Radio, and this is a great event to be able to help moderate. I think it's wonderful to see the growth of the Libertarian Party, because the Libertarian Party makes Democrats and Republicans better. You guys are the last line of defense to really hold them accountable. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for running today. Let's have a big hand for our candidates that are running. So we've got several candidates for U.S. Congress as well as United States Senate with us today, including Donna Dunn, Pepper Snyder, Steve Morales, Rich Turvey, Drew Thompson, Andy Horning, Russell Brooksbank, and Lucy Brenton. And they'll be speaking with us today about this great forum. But first, we are going to start with Joe Hauptman, and he's got some introduction for us.
Hello, I'm Joe Hauptman. I'm the chair of the Libertarian Party of Indiana, and I want to welcome all of you to this historical event. I've been active in the party since the 1980s, and never in my life have I seen an election like this one. Okay, due to the incredible incompetence of the two older parties, we have a chance for Americans to actually look and see, is there another way? After generations of voting for, being told they must vote for the lesser of two evils, they are faced with the lesser of two disasters. And as a result, we are getting a fresh look. Gary Johnson is pulling in double digits across the country. In some states, he is already pulling ahead of both major parties among independents. But Gary can't do it alone. It is necessary for him to have a team of candidates also dedicated to liberty down ticket. Indiana is proud to offer a complete federal slate of candidates willing to back Gary Johnson's approach of a smaller, less intrusive government, a government that will get out of your life and will get us out of wars. Today, you're going to see these men and women come together, showing a unity in how we can move this country forward and get us off this disastrous track that we seem to be heading down. Thank you.
All right, so we now have Drew Thompson with us, and Drew, of course, is running for United States Congress in District 7, and Drew's going to give us a little bit of background about why we're here today with the preamble and also the introduction of the planks. Drew?
Thank you, Rob, and thank you, Joe. And thank you to my fellow candidates for being here and for all the effort that we put into coming together to sign this pledge today. It really has been a very interesting, exciting, and invigorating process. As Joe alluded to, it's a wonderful year to be a libertarian in 2016. Our presidential candidate is doing far better in the polls than we've ever done before. With that, though, we realize as libertarians, as candidates standing on principles of liberty, that the President of the United States is only one person, has only one job, and that the jobs of the people in the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate really matter. And we want to show the voters not only why we are different, and we're very different in terms of how we stand on liberty and our ability to not be sold out to special interests, but also on the principles that we share and how we can be effective by coming together and standing together under a pledge and a platform that we will all support as we run for office. And it is a very strong commitment. We've all worked very hard to get here today. So thank you all again. And now I'm going to read the preamble to our pledge, and then each of the candidates will read a plank, and we'll have a conclusion thereafter before we sign. The Libertarian Congressional Candidates Compact for Liberty. Whereas the entire Congress is currently made up entirely of members from only two entrenched political parties. Whereas these two parties have effectively separated Americans into competing classes of citizens and have colluded and collaborated to bring about policies that fail to serve our innate shared goals of freedom, prosperity, and security. Whereas the American people should have the opportunity for an alternative leadership from a third party in Congress that can offer a better course for the future, it is hereby resolved. We, the undersigned Libertarian Party candidates for U.S. Congress in 2016, solemnly vow upon our election to office to faithfully serve all voters in America by fighting against the unsustainable corruption of the current political system in Washington, D.C., and to offer the voters of America an alternative and better course for our national government for the following term in Congress, and pledge our undivided support to the accomplishments of the following.
Andy, real quick, want to let everybody know this is Andy Horning. And Andy, if you would be so kind enough, as all of our candidates come up today, if you have a social media account or a website, as our folks see this for the first time, make sure to give that out as well.
Good point. Horning for Congress, that's a number 4, horningforcongress.com. I swear to purposefully restrict or eliminate corporate welfare by reducing and working to eliminate appropriations of spending that are directed to private corporate interests.
Next up, we have Rich Turvey.
Hi, Rich Turvey, running for the 6th District of U.S. Congress. I can be found at turvey4congress.org or com, or Turvey, the number 4, Congress on Facebook. We swear to enable presidential action allowing for the veto of unnecessary spending, similar to the line item veto, but in a format that is fully constitutional and viable. Donna Dunn.
Thank you.
Donna Dunn.
Hello, my name is Donna Dunn. I'm running for the 1st District, Congress for the 1st District. You can find me on Facebook at Donna Dunn for Congress 16. We promise to restore the separation of powers and Congress' proper role in legislation, that only legislators may legislate, and will not continue to improperly delegate their authority to regulatory agencies or the executive branch in general. Thank you.
Steve Mayoris.
I'm Steve Mayoris. I'm running for District 4. You can find me at www.mayorisforcongress.com, all letters, no numbers in that. We pledge to restrain the destructive capacity of the central banking and monetary system by supporting legislation to both audit and move toward an end of the Federal Reserve System. Thank you.
Russell Brooksbank.
Russell Brooksbank, 9th District. You can find me on Facebook at Russell Brooksbank for Congress and on the web at www.electbrooksbank.com. We pledge to eliminate the tribalization of American politics by requiring the uniform application of rules for drawing congressional districts geographically for every state and district in the country. And we pledge to introduce legislation that will move us towards the goal of imposing term limits and to extend such limits to the federal judiciary as well.
Pepper Snyder.
Hi, I'm Pepper Snyder. I'm running for Indiana 3rd District. We pledge to enhance economic opportunity and personal freedom by deducing regulation in citizens' economic and personal lives, by repealing as many unnecessary, unconstitutional statutes and regulations as time will permit in a 2-year term in Congress.
Donna Dunn, once again, 1st Congressional District. We pledge to ensure rules requiring due process and equal protection in all court proceedings, and that such rules include the due process requirements involving all individual rights guaranteed under the Constitution.
Rich Turvey from the 6th District again, and I forgot Twitter. You can follow me at Turvey, the number 4, Congress on Twitter as well. We pledge to create a more consistent, reliable, and equitable tax structure by replacing the income tax with a consumption-based tax for all Americans and thereby eliminating the need for the Internal Revenue Service.
I'm Andy Horning. Just Google me. You'll find it all over the place. We pledge to promote peace, prosperity, and freedom by limiting our unconstitutional, counterproductive, and costly military engagements to matters immediately related to our national sovereignty and domestic security.
And with our closing remarks, we have Lucy Brenton, who's the candidate for United States Senate.
Thank you so much. My name is Lucy Brenton. I'm the Libertarian candidate for United States Senate from Indiana, and you can find me at lucy4senate.com, as well as on Facebook and, of course, Twitter. We will work to the best of our ability to advance and pass as many of these planks as we are able, and to help other like-minded libertarians get elected to Congress. We will individually not serve more than 12 years in the same House of Congress under any circumstance. If we fail to introduce or co-sponsor legislation to advance the majority of the above planks during a term in Congress, we will not seek re-election in the following term. We respectfully submit this to the American people, and just as our forefathers did before us, we're going to pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor to the cause of restoring freedom and liberty to the United States of America. Thank you.
This time, do we want to go ahead and sign the document?
Yes, let's do.
I'd like to thank you all for coming today. I think Drew might have a few remarks to wrap up. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Actually, I believe we're going to go forward and have some opportunities for each candidate to tell you why they decided to sign the pledge, and for Rob to ask each candidate a couple of questions about their particular race. So if I'm correct, we're going to start with the 1st District candidate.
Yeah, so we'll have Donna Dunn come up, and we're going to really just have 2 questions for each candidate, and we'll just have you answer each of them at the same time. Take about 2 minutes to answer the question once it's posed to you, and then we'll go on to the second question. So the first question is, why are you running for, in your case, United States Congress, and why did you sign today?
I am running to bring freedom and justice back to the American people. I signed this pledge because I believe every one of these planks, and I believe that when the American people read these planks and understand these planks, that they will also support us. They already do. From everyone I've talked to in my district already, this is the government that they want. They want the smaller government. They want the less intrusive government. They want the government out of their bedrooms, their bodies, and their business.
And our second question is, what do you see as the role of the Libertarian Party in this cycle, and how will you use your candidacy to help grow the Libertarian Party?
I see our role as so many people nowadays, they're tired, I believe Joe alluded to it earlier, they're tired of having to vote for the lesser of two evils. You vote for the lesser of two evils, it's still evil. And the Libertarian Party brings our government back to the way it was supposed to be, back to following the Constitution, back to a smaller, limited government. And that is what the American people want, and that is what the American people deserve. And I believe that working with Gary Johnson and my federal candidates, I ran, during the last election cycle. This is far more than I have ever seen before. And all of us candidates working together are going to bring that freedom and that prosperity back to the American people. Thank you.
Representing the 3rd, we have Pepper Snyder. And Pepper, I will ask you the same questions as we will for all of our candidates. Why are you running for Congress in 2016, and why did you sign today?
Well, I'm running for Congress because I'm a mom, and I am fearful of the country that is being left to my children. I want them to have the maximum freedom and maximum ability to do whatever they want in their life without government interfering in that.
And what do you see as the role of the Libertarian Party in 2016, and how are you going to use your candidacy to help grow the party?
I think the role of the Libertarian Party in 2016 is to provide the voice of sanity. We've got such a polarization on each side from Republicans and Democrats that there's finally someone that people are hearing about that is the sane voice.
And everybody give Pepper a big round of applause because she does have to be married to Gary. So. Thank you, Pepper. Representing the 4th, running in the 4th Congressional District this year is Steve Mayoris. Steve, we'll start with first question is, why are you running for Congress, and why did you sign today?
Well, I'm running because I don't feel represented, and I think a lot of people don't feel that way. I personally think that there should be someone in office that is sticking to the job description, and that's why I'm running. As far as signing, it's a grassroots effort. We've come together as a group here as citizens for citizens. I'm excited to see the result of our work actually becoming reality. And truth be told, it was difficult, but it should be. We are a very different assortment of people who came together to organize and get this compact going. But no two people in this world are the same, and that's reality. Looking away while government passes umbrella legislation that groups us all into one team or another is a really destructive way of thinking. It divides us. It makes us opponents instead of peers. We the people have become so divided that over time we have been willing to give up those protections in order to get the other team candidate from winning. That means consistently giving in to voting for the lesser of two evils. But what we need to do is embrace our diversity, decentralize powers. That will create the basis from which liberty can grow. And only because of our differences here were we able to come up with this compact and narrow down to the issues that actually matter, the root causes that are keeping us away from our freedoms. Our compact outlines the framework on which corruption took hold and how we the people can remedy it. This compact contains ideals and goals that all sides can support. And so that is why I signed, and that's why I proudly put my signature on there. So thank you.
All right, and what is the role of the Libertarian Party in 2016, and how are you going to use your candidacy to grow the Libertarian Party?
The role is for something different. People are looking for something different. They're looking for someone to do the job rather than self-serve, make money. It's not a for-profit business. It is a public service. I am an employee. If I was elected into a public office, I am an employee of the people, and that is what is missing. And I think that everyone's looking for that to come forward. As far as my candidacy, the best I can do is make sure everybody knows we're all on the same team. We all want the same things. And it's important to have those things. Anybody making an argument will say the same thing. Well, I just want to live my life. Well, let's cut corporate welfare. Why are we still in these wars, right? So those are the things that we've outlined here that I think, again, everybody can support.
Great, thank you. Running in the 6th Congressional District, Rich Turvey. And Rich, we'll start with why are you running for Congress and why did you sign today?
The reason I'm running for Congress is I'm proud to be an American citizen. I've served this nation for 17 years now in the U.S. Army. I've taken an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And as I've grown older and started to watch my children grow up, I've started to see the representatives and the leaders in this country not fulfill that same oath. And I started to get really scared for my children and grandchildren, for the debt and for the fraud, waste, and abuse that was occurring, checks written off their backs. So I decided to come in and try and make a difference and make a change. I signed the compact today because I fully support and believe everything that we said can be accomplished if we get enough people involved. I really think that once people hear about what we've done today and see what we've come together to do, that they will also be very supportive. We got to take the journey with our first step today.
What do you see as the role of the Libertarian Party in 2016, and how will you use your candidacy to grow the party?
Well, first thing I see is that the Libertarian Party is starting a movement. I know that the party's been active for 40-plus years, but I really think this is the year. And I know that that's said every election cycle, but I do believe with the way things are brewing, I mean, we've got a lot of very good, strong candidates in this room. Very good, strong candidates that I've connected with nationally at local levels, other congressional candidates. And I really believe that once the citizens of the United States and once our fellow Americans get a taste of what we're actually about and they see what libertarians stand for and what we're going to do, that they're going to start to like it more. I mean, was it 65% of Americans identify independent? Well, we should be representing those 65%. And that's where I see the Libertarian Party falling in this election cycle.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks.
Running in the 7th Congressional District, Drew Thompson.
Thank you.
Drew, we'll start off with the same question we've had for everybody else. Why are you running for Congress this year, and why did you sign the compact today?
Well, first of all, I didn't mention before my social media. You can find me at drewthompson2016.com or on Facebook at Drew Thompson for Congress. Why am I running for Congress, and why did I sign the pledge? I feel very compelled to do something. I feel compelled to do something for my children, my neighbors, my friends, for all of these people who care so much about America. I see what's happening in our country, and to me, it feels like the two old parties are pushing on a wagon toward the edge of a cliff. And it's going to take a lot of committed people. It's going to take the people who have thought before that we couldn't do anything about it, but are realizing that if we want to have a country, if we want to save this country, if we want to make it everything that it should be and have the freedoms and liberty that we cherish so much, that there are people that have to do things, and we have to do whatever we can. I've been asked many times by people like my good friend Mark Rutherford, who's here with us today, to run for office before, and I haven't chosen to in the past. But in 2016, you can just see and feel in the political landscape where we are and how things are going. And this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for all those people who sit home election after election, all those people who haven't been satisfied with their own parties in the past, to come out and make a difference. It's an opportunity for the millennial generation that's coming of age to make a stand and to say, this is what we believe in. We believe in liberty and freedom. The reason I signed the pledge is because I believe it stands for all of the ideals we want to put forth. I believe it gives all of the voters in our districts and other candidates who would come with us the opportunity to look and see who we are, what we believe in, and what we will do if we do get elected. I would challenge the Republican and Democrat candidates in each district that we're running in to look at our pledge and either sign it or explain in a debate to all of your voters with the candidates that are here today why you're not willing to take a similar pledge and take a stand on that.
And then the second question, what is the role of the Libertarian Party in 2016, and how will you use your candidacy to help grow the party?
The role of the Libertarian Party is to offer a true and different alternative. People are very unhappy with the choices that they have, and there's good reasons for that. We're not in this because we want to send a message to the other parties. We're in this because we want to change America to make America what it should be and what it can be, with more freedom and more opportunity. We need to run our races with the thought in mind that we're running to win. We need voters to understand that if they really want to be heard, that we have to be competitive in the races that we're running. We're not a marginal third party. We've been around a long time. We have a message. Our presidential candidate is doing exceptionally well in the polls, and we're following along with him right now. Plus, we each have our own message to share with the voters in our own districts.
All right. Thanks, Drew.
Thank you.
Andy Horning. Andy, you must keep your answers to 30 minutes or less.
I will try.
We'll start with why are you running for Congress, and why did you sign the pledge today?
Well, it's not entirely unselfish. I have 5 kids, and I work in the medical industry, which is, taxation, regulation, litigation is pretty much all I do all day. So with all of that under threat, I feel like I either have to just grin and take it or fight back, and so I choose to fight back repeatedly, apparently. So that's why I'm running. In the short answer, I guess, the other part to it is that I signed this pledge because I've been for years hoping that libertarians would come together the way I've seen us do lately. And I've been wanting a pledge like this forever. I didn't lead this effort, and thank you, Drew, and others who actually did. I'm just jazzed that this is really happening. We're at the year where we need to come together, where we have this opportunity, that we have candidates who are actually doing this, coming up and agreeing to something, anything, and this is great stuff. And so I'm here to sign this because not only is this what I've always wanted, but I'd love to see that it's happening in general, and I wanted to be with the people who are doing it.
All right, and what do you see as the role of the Libertarians in 2016, and how do you plan to use your candidacy to grow the party?
Well, we all think we're the good guys. I mean, everybody likes to think they're on the right side. And so that happens with Democrats and Republicans, too. The difference with Libertarians is that we don't divide people up into opposing factions. So where the Democrats and Republicans say, we're the good guys, you're the bad guys, we're not like that at all. We say, we're all people. We're all human. We're all going to die. Let's make this a little bit more pleasant while we're on this planet. So the point that, Libertarians are offering here is that we can unify people instead of dividing along, black versus white, gay versus straight, man versus woman, which bathroom are you going to use, that kind of stuff. What we're doing is saying we're all in this together. We don't have to be violent. We don't have to make enemies of everybody. We don't have to have this tug of war over funds that are, we can't possibly pay off the debts we already have. And so the scraps of money that we're throwing some people and the huge piles of cash we're throwing to other people is based on a tug of war that we entirely oppose. And so the notion that, we should be divided up into groups and it should be either this or you're that, we're offering another option. We're offering the option to say, guys, it doesn't have to be like this. We don't have to be at war. We don't have to be fighting each other. We can unite and we can have better lives with a lot less interference, a lot less complexity, and a lot less tax.
Andy, thank you.
Sure, thank you.
And our final congressional candidate today is Russell Brooksbank, representing the 9th Congressional District. Russell, we'll start with why did you sign the pledge today, and why are you running for Congress?
Well, when I was 17 years old, I took an oath of not an oath of office, but I took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, and I don't believe that oath expires until I do. And I believe that we have the right to good government. And if I cannot find someone to do that, then I'm obligated to step up and do it myself. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm stepping up so that we will have good government in this country, so that I can leave my grandchildren government of the people, by the people, and for the people, instead of a government of the special interest, for the special interest, and by the special interest. And I signed the pledge because I want the people in my district, in the 9th District, to know that I am serious about good government, and I'm serious about defending their rights. And so that's why I signed.
And then our second question, what do you see the role of the Libertarian Party being in 2016, and how will you use your candidacy to grow the party?
I see our role as being the voice of, the voice of sanity, the voice of liberty, the voice of freedom. And, there are a lot of people in this country that are, disenfranchised, that, will not vote because they just really don't feel like any of the parties out there represent them or will do what they say, and just pay them a lot of lip service. And I believe that the Libertarian Party can be their party and can be their voice. And as a candidate, I want to get out there and explain that to everybody and let them know that, hey, there is someone that's listening. There is someone that's willing to go to Washington and do what they say. And, if I cannot do what I say I'm going to do in that pledge, the people in my district will not have to vote me out in 2 years. I will refuse to run.
All right, thank you. And our final candidate for U.S. Senate, Lucy Brenton. Lucy, we'll start with why are you running, in this case, for U.S. Senate, and why did you sign the pledge?
Thank you so much, Rob. I'll tell you what, in 1971, I woke up to the event of my birth. And I was raised in what I was told was the freest and best country in the world. And I believed that with every fiber of my being as I grew up, because I was told to believe it over and over again. But as I got older, I realized that we were working against a corrupt system. And I felt that there was nothing that I could do. And so for a while I gave up, and I decided that maybe I would live small, and in my little corner of the world I would just make it the best that I could. And as I had children, more and more children, my husband and I have been married for 25 years and we have 10 children now, what I realized is that living small was not going to work. And I realized that I was going to have children and grandchildren, and that one day I would wake up dead, because no one gets out of here alive. And the things that I do now and the things that you do now are the only things that are going to make the difference between the world that we live in now, which is not ideal, and the type of world that our children and grandchildren will inherit and move forward with. We stand on a precipice. I am not exaggerating to say that we are at a crossroads of freedom and slavery. The old parties have demonstrated over and over again that they are willing to operate in a corrupt fashion, and they are willing to treat us as tax slaves. I say no more. I say we sign a pledge today, and we did. And the reason we did that was because throughout our candidacies and throughout our terms in Congress, you can take that pledge and you can look at every action that we take, and you can see if they match up. And if they don't, we won't be back, because we've made that pledge to you. It's a pledge of integrity, and it's a pledge of freedom, and we intend to honor it.
All right, and same question we've asked our other candidates today. What is the role of the Libertarian Party in 2016, and how do you plan to use your candidacy to grow the party?
Thank you for that. The role of the Libertarian Party in 2016 is to do what everyone before us has worked to do. We have been brought to this point after over 4 decades of hard work. And we're standing in a place where everybody is dissatisfied with the old parties. As Joe said, it's not just the lesser of two evils, it really is the lesser of two disasters. And we have a responsibility to show people that there's a better way. My friends that are evangelical Christians, my friends that are pagan, my friends that are atheist, it doesn't matter. We can all come to liberty together, whether we get here through logic, whether we get here through love, or through practicality. we can all get to the same place. And as we move forward as a country in unity, we're going to be united under the concept of freedom. And we have to realize it's not just freedom to be in a gay marriage or freedom to be in no marriage. It's freedom to be you. The essence of libertarianism and the message that I want to carry through my campaign and to bring people into libertarianism is this: you own you. And by owning yourself, you have the responsibility to take care of yourself and to take care of your fellow man. So based on self-ownership, you should be able to do whatever you want as long as you don't hurt anyone else. And I want people to feel free to live their freedom.
All right. Before we finish today, Mark Rutherford is with us, and we're going to have him come up and say a few words.
Thank you. I'm Mark Rutherford. I am chair of the Libertarian National Campaign Committee. Libertarian National Campaign Committee is one of two national committees involved under the Libertarian Party umbrella. We're the ones that just focus completely on campaigns. And I'm pleased to announce that my board has decided to endorse all of the Indiana U.S. House candidates. We're very proud of you. We're very proud of your work and your willingness to work together. So our endorsement for all of you, and we will publicize that, of course. Thank you.
All right, as we close today, a big hand for the Antelope Club for hosting us. And Drew, do we have any further closing comments, anything we didn't get to today? All right. Well, again, thank you, everybody, for coming today. We will have a video podcast of this up on YouTube, hopefully by tomorrow, and we'll get it out and share it with everybody, so please share it with your friends. So thank you for coming today, and have a safe trip home.